following podcast contains mature language and adult discussions.
What are the pills that have the metallic, that give you the metallic taste? Was that for? Oh yeah, that wasn't. That was Steve.
Yeah, that's the COVID tabs. Plaxovid or Plex, whatever it is called.
Okay. Wasn't the not the Mucinex I'm taking?
No, not the Mucinex. But you still will have night terrors.
That's night terrors. It's on the daily. Yeah, we were knocking that around a little before we went on the air. The metallic taste of the pills. So that's this week's Mudshark. That gets established off air and then seems to work its way.
It comes out. Yeah, it comes and visits 43 times throughout the course of an hour and a half. So
this is Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. He's Kevin.
So I didn't say anything because we had a group text going usually after the show's over, and I swear to God on Tristan's soul, I go downstairs and I turn the radio on. Well, the radio's on. I turn the car on. It's Zeppelin. I was just like, fuck me. Like, you got to be kidding me.
Thanks, T.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, like a Mudshark me to death. So
I was talking to a musician this week, and I began to tell the story. I referenced the hotel and talked about fishing out the window, and before I could even get through it, he's like, is this the shark thing or something like that? I was like, you know what I'm talking about? I said, what do you mean the shark thing? He said, yeah, like Led Zeppelin did something. Like he's like, I think that's been debunked. I was like, no, you gotta let a boy dream. You gotta let me have that. So I don't know. So it is a thing. People know about it. I feel embarrassed.
I feel like I just haven't lived enough of. I thought my life was pretty much as deprived as
Well, if nothing else, I thought my classic rock game was strong.
Yeah, you would think too that just.
So we're looking at something right now.
And right here, it's not definitively been debunked. So,
but the details surrounding it remain murky and unconfirmed.
Much like the water that your Mudshark will be found in.
This is funny because then Nick goes, didn't Zappa do something with that? And there's the song, the Mudshark, recorded by Frank in 1971.
One of my favorite all-time Frank Zappa songs is Dynamo Hum. Did you ever listen to that song?
I don't know much Zappa. I mean, I know the importance of the mothers.
Got a spot
and all
that makes me hot, and you can't get to it. No. Got a spot that gets me hot, and Dynamo Hum. Oh man, it's about oral sex.
Drummer Carmine Appice of Vanilla Fudge was also present for the Led Zeppelin interlude, let's call it. He confirmed in a 2016 book that an incident involving a red snapper. Come on now, now the red snapper. Are we just crafting every story for this now? The snapper, the Mudshark's funny, but the snapper ain't bad either.
I heard about the four tops and a fucking catfish down at the Detroit the old Cadillac fucking hotel. I don't know.
Those ones that you stick your hand in the hole and grab it by the mouth and pull it out.
Sting the fuck out of you with those.
Sorry, Bernadette. That was my Four Tops impression, by the way, with this allergy or colds or whatever the fuck I'm dealing with. I may die on the air today. If it happens, Steve, run the episode. Get the ratings, the clicks.
If you are going to die, what 5 things would you like us to know?
I got to think of my last words.
Yeah, you got to get your last words down.
How far do you allow the receding hairline to go before you do the Jack Nicholson, or is that never cool anymore? Not current. Current Jack is just it's all over the place. But
I don't No, I mean, mine's going back. What are you going to do? My whole thing is, like, people will always say, I'll read different comments like, dude, man, grow your hair back. I'm like, I look like the fucking guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Riff Raff.
Yeah, I look like Riff Raff. There's a reason why, like, old dude, like, I've seen one guy, like, my agent has this guy I think is a rock guy, and he's my age, and this fucking guy has got, like, unbelievably great hair. But that's one in a zillion. I had great hair when up until I was 50, maybe even 60. But I don't know. Ain't like I'm putting out any fucking any music soon. So
not yet. You're not. You did a fucking haunting rendition of Harry Chapin's "Taxi."
I've got a couple of Highwayman tunes. I do a pretty good Waylon.
A little Waylon Jennings.
Yeah.
Where'd you were at a graduation? I saw on
yes
on your socials.
My
Where'd you
niece
have to go for that?
She graduated from Madison, Alabama, which is basically the Huntsville area.
Okay.
And we were in the Von Braun Center, which I've wrestled in, which is
I've heard of it.
Kind of.
Somebody on Twitter said, "Random question: were you in Huntsville? I swear you were sitting in the same restaurant as me." God, it's either Kevin or it's not. It's not like.
Yeah, Hattie was me.
It's Kevin, Wally, Sean. There's some people when you see them, there's no mistaking.
I think that one of the things is too that threw people off is I think I had like a collared shirt with sleeves on like most of the time I was there. So.
Right.
And I wore. Did I wear? I can't remember if I wore slacks that day or not.
There you go.
Yes, I'm in slacks. That's about as dressed up as you're going to get me with a pair of Jordan 1s, some slacks, and a black polo. That's. She's actually down here right now. They went. I took them today, and they rented. I rented them jet skis, and her best friend is down with us, Katie, and they're both going to Alabama. They're both going to be on the 5th floor. They both got their assignments, so they're, and I'm trying to be as much as I can be the big Uncle Yoda, trying to explain in 4 days how not to get roofied and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're looking at me like, dude, where the fuck did you grow up at? And then if you get around jammed in the chamber, just go ahead and drop the clip out, clear it, put it back in. You're better off with probably a 5-shot Smith & Wesson. So
trying to cram that all into the short visit here.
Exactly.
Ladies, sit down. We have some talking to do.
Yeah.
So that was a high school graduation.
High school graduation.
And they're starting college. Okay.
Yeah, they're 18 years old, man.
Yep.
It was so funny because I can't remember what the reference was. I made a reference. I've made several references. The first one was Clint Eastwood, and they had no idea. Oh, so my niece's roommate is from Carmel, California. And
former mayor.
I said, you know who the mayor of there was? And she said, no. I said, Clint Eastwood. She goes, and I would know him from where? And I was just like, holy fuck, you don't know who Clint? I said, Pretty Baby? I'm going like I'll go Hillary Swank, woman boxer, maybe correlation, nothing. So then later on, it's like 2 days later, and we're sitting there, we're watching TV, and the preview comes out for that Amy Winehouse film that's coming up. And my wife was like, oh, I think I'm going to go see that. And she knows I don't go to the theater because I'll just watch it at home. I'll wait and just pay for it at home. And I said, let's just wait and we'll watch that. Because I said I'd really like to watch that myself. And Wesley's telling me the Winehouse film is out already. Thank God for Wesley.
It's out?
He says it's out. Yeah. So hey Dom. So
there was a great documentary about her life.
yeah, but they neither one of them knew who Amy Winehouse was.
You're kidding.
No, I mean it's just like
Let me see, 18. So they were born in fucking math. God damn it. 18. So they were born in 2006. When did Amy die? Was she dead by then?
no, but I mean fuck. Number one, it's
Well, the Clint I understand.
Yeah, but I think that, God, I don't know, man. I just don't think that people watch, like our era watched so much film. I just don't think that film is really something that they absorb like we did.
Yeah.
She passed away in 2011.
Okay.
So they'd be 6, 7 years old.
Wow. That I'm surprised about. Yeah, no, there's so many distractions now. It was film, television, or radio when we were kids. That was it. And, this is the old fart hour sponsored by Ben Gay.
My whole life, I've been hiding it. I want to come out tonight. Ben Gay.
Gotcha.
See ya.
Gotcha. But so this is the equivalent of your parents referencing who? Like when you were 18. You were 18 in what year?
But see, the deal is like we had so minimal of fucking media and mediums that was just like you knew who fucking Sissy and Bobby were.
You knew everybody
because you fucking got stuck on Sunday at Grandma and Grandpa's house watching the Lawrence Welk show at 7:00, and you knew who the Rockettes were. You knew who all the crooners were. It's like you knew who Chuck Berry was. I mean, it was, Beatles 65. I was, 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of distraction now. Now it's all the streaming is the. I read a book last week about Scarface that just came out. It's called The World Is Yours. Speaking of Oliver Stone, we were talking about him in the pre-show. He wrote it. He didn't direct it. De Palma directed it. So it was a pretty intense study about the making of the film, how they got it made, and then the actors, the performances, the difficulties on the set, whatever. Just the story of Scarface. And there was a great line in there where they talked about the amount of time that De Palma was putting into shots, constructing the shots. And if you worked for Soderberg, so maybe it was a similar thing. It wasn't taken for granted that it'll be a master, 2 over the shoulders, maybe medium, move the camera a little and move on. There was a great deal of effort put into, and they said in the book, like in today's shot for streaming world, everyone's just going to be used to the master, couple of over the shoulders, and then into the next scene, that it's almost going to be jarring to see things that had such intricate construction to how am I going to shoot this scene? Is this better just pulling all the way back and letting the action happen? There's shit that happens from above in Scarface, man, and just the crane shots and dead art. It's going to be a dead art because nothing's in the theater anymore.
And see, the thing with Soderberg is I remember that he did that show with Clive Owen. I think it was on HBO. I think he was maybe he was Sherlock Holmes and there was a scene. I remember when I was watching the series, and there was a scene where, because Soderberg's number one peeve, and this of course is just my observation of working with him and being blessed to work with him. He absolutely hates the lighting. Like the guys that set up 19 1Ks around us. He says, because I asked him, I said I really have enjoyed your work throughout my life. I said would you be pissed off at me during this process that we're going to do together if I ask questions? He goes, fuck no, man. He says, you can ask me anything you want. And I remember like the first day when I was just amazed how it was just like, call was at like noon, and we were basically done with 4 pages by fucking 4 o'clock. And it was just bang, 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 bang. And I said to him, I said, if you were going to tell like a young film student that was wanting to be a director, like what would be the one thing you would tell them? He says, when the lighting truck fucking shows up, padlock that motherfucker. Like that, he says that's all your time right there.
Oh, it's because it's a time suck.
That's why he fucking designed that red. That red camera, fucking, you can shoot. I can shoot out in this sun right here and match a shot at midnight. It's all digital. It's like it's unbelievable.
See, I love the quote. An essential. I don't know what the hell I'm reading here. It just came up on the screen. An essential aspect of Soderberg's approach is that he thinks like an editor while he's shooting. Yeah, well, that's a common thing with the director. You're putting the camera where you are because you know how you're going to cut it or have it.
Well,
cut.
not only that is you take the Magic Mike 2 that we did, and he shot in sequence every day. Went back to the hotel. And by 9:45 to 10 o'clock, you could go in and watch because he'd edit. Now, of course, it wasn't sound edited, but as far as what was going to be in the film was edited, and you could watch it from start to finish. So, like the last day when we finished shooting, we all grabbed a couple bottles of wine, and we went up and we sat in a big room, and there was probably 16 of us, and we watched the whole film.
So he had his editors cutting as the dailies would come in. Oh, he was
edited.
Wait a minute. So he would wrap.
Shh. He's looking through the fucking lens.
Yeah. He's
shooting everything. He's going back and he's editing everything. I mean, that's when she shot that one film. He shot it on an iPhone.
Seeing here on the Nick, he would edit the day's footage himself each evening and post the edited scenes for the crew to review, completing an entire episode in just 7 days. Shot High Flying Bird on the iPhone.
That's the iPhone, yeah.
Yeah, God, I'd be so nervous to rely on the iPhone.
Yeah, he's just, it's just his brilliance is, and then on top of all that, Team USA, like he and I sat one night and while everybody else went to bed, punked out on us because we were watching the baseball. It was wasn't the World Series. It was a championship round. It was the Brewers were in it that year, I think. And we watched the game, and everybody punked out. And he and I stayed up and watched Team USA and laughed our asses off.
The hell is Team USA?
It's that like puppet movie.
Oh, Team America.
I'm sorry, Team America.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's still one of my. It's just such a classic film. Because when I was a kid, there was XL 500 was a show that was that way. Then also the Thunderbirds was another show that was those marionettes. So.
So all right. So you had to go to Alabama. You flew, obviously, right?
Yeah, I flew. And so my wife still has, she's still recovering from hip replacement. And then my 77-year-old mother-in-law went with us also. So we, I'm like, I know that we're going to land in B, because usually Delta from Daytona Beach lands in Atlanta in B. And I also know that going to, I'm not saying anything about Huntsville, but to a smaller community, shit town, is going to probably be out of D. And Terminal D in Atlanta is basically Night of the Living Dead. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable. So we get to Daytona Beach, and my wife is like she's a really nervous traveler.
Is it like schedules get her nervous, or the flight, like being up in the air?
Everything. It's she sits there and we'll watch a travel show or something. She's like, I like for her, the best thing she can do is get on a 21-day cruise and just chill, get off, see. Like that's what, and she's a great cruiser, and they like her and her friend like a year, maybe a year and a half ago, did like a 20-something day cruise over in the
the Mediterranean. I remember.
Through Croatia.
Oh
and, yeah, it was great. She had a great time, and which is great for me because I've basically seen everything I want to see. So I don't want to walk on cobblestone fucking streets. I don't want to. There's only so many cathedrals you can see in your life before you go fucking uncle. So,
but wouldn't you then, having traveled as much as you do, and the headaches of airports and delays and fucking the awfulness of flying, don't you share that sentiment that when you get on a cruise, you step on, you're on vacation?
Yeah, but the thing is that the hallways are like 6'6". And they got those fucking sprinkler things. So it's I feel like I'm getting out of a Canadian Regional 70 jet every time I get on a cruise ship. And then if somebody fucking sees you and knows you, it doesn't take long for if you're buzzing through an airport and they go, "Oh, it's Kevin Nash." If you're on a boat for fucking 10 days,
they're with you.
You're gonna fucking you might as well fucking set up a fucking $60 a fucking photo meet and greet.
Booth.
Just get it over with, because you're gonna be on everybody's, And it's not that I don't enjoy, I love my fans. Anybody that considers them a fan of me, I absolutely love. It's just that fucking I like to fucking chill too, So
Tamara's nervous.
So she's nervous, and her mom, who just she just hasn't traveled hardly at all. So I say, fuck it. I said, let's just make this easy because we're gonna go from B to D, and we've only got 53 minutes. I said, so let's So I order 2 wheelchairs. So lo and behold, we get off the plane. There's a guy sitting there fucking around with his phone, no wheelchairs. And I said, dude, where's the wheelchairs? He goes, oh, he makes a call. Tamara looks at me, she goes, we don't have time to wait. And she's right, we don't. Who knows how long it's going to be? So we start walking up.
Your layover is 53 minutes?
53 minutes to catch this flight. The other fucking option was 4 hours and 17-minute layover.
Oh, okay, I'll take the 53.
Yeah. So I said, "Fuck." So we walk, and man, I can just see Tamara she's gonna grind it out. Lo and behold, man, there is a fucking wheelchair just sitting at a gate, and there's nobody at the gate. So I went over and grabbed the fucking wheelchair, and I told my wife to get in. And I looked at my mother-in-law, and I said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just lazy.
You need
to stay the fuck up with us. I said, worst case scenario. I said we're going to D9. I said, so I won't leave. I won't let the plane leave without you. She hoofed it.
All right.
She fucking hoofed it the whole way. So we get in. And we've got like 13 minutes before they even shut the door. So Tamara got up and used the restroom. My mother-in-law was sitting. We were in the first row. and my mother-in-law was sitting against the window. She's in 1A, Tamara's in 1B, I'm in 1C in the aisle. And I looked over at my mother-in-law and I said, and the stewardess was coming over. She asked my mother-in-law, can I get you something to drink? She says, no, water's fine. I said, come on, Mom. I said, you just busted your ass. I said, why don't you have a double shot of tequila on the rocks? Because she likes tequila. And she said, are you kidding? I said, fuck no, I ain't kidding. I said, after that, I said, so she brings it over, and the lady's like, she goes, you're really going to drink this? And she said, you're damn right I am. Bam, down that fucking shot goes. She fucking squeezes the fucking lime, and she gets down, and Tamara comes out of the restroom. We're on a smaller plane. Tamara said, I heard the whole fucking thing. She said, you drank that, Mom? She said, yeah. And Tamara got a glass of white wine. I'm not drinking, so I'm just drinking my water. And I looked over at my mother-in-law and I said, I just want you to know that right now, I said, this is called operant conditioning. This is Pavlovian. I said, I just gave you your reward. I said, I'll be able to fucking pull this out of my ass anytime I need to the rest of my life. So, and lo and behold, man.
Ring that bell and hold the tequila.
Yep. And on the way back, man, it was just... We had an hour and 21 minutes. We pulled up. We were supposed to get off at D42, and like now it's 40 minutes, and they still haven't backed out of 42. So he goes, well, A6 is open. That's at the other end. So I'm going from from D6 to B34, B36 is the last gate. So I'm basically going from one end of the airport to the other, and then going over to two terminals. And
do they have a tram? I feel like they have a tram.
They do,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you've got to go to the end of to the middle of the terminal. You've got to find the elevator to take the wheelchair down.
Oh, the chair, yeah.
Then you got to pull that fucker. Then the trains are packed. You're not an employee, and you're fucking wheeling somebody. It's not like they're moving around. I just basically got a fucking Humphrey Bogart and just back people in, just push people. Like now it becomes Lord of the Flies. I mean, every fucking time you travel, nowadays it is Lord of the Flies. And once again, we made it, and we had the two girls with us coming back because they're coming down for a week at the beach as part of their graduation present. So they were with us, and it was to them. I'm like the travel Nazi. I'm just like, and they were just laughing their asses off because I just, I'm going through D and these people are, I'm going chair, fucking wheelchair. People are turning around. And because we're motoring, and there was a young black dude that worked for the airline there at the Atlanta airport. Great, I mean, just does this all day long. He was a young kid, does this all day long, and just had a smile on his face. He was so I was just like, oh man, it's just so nice to see somebody that just does their job.
Mm-hmm.
And does it well, and does it with a smile on his face.
What is it that he's doing?
He was pushing my
the
wife.
Chair. Oh, all right.
I was pushing my mother-in-law. And my mother, so the chair is if you've ever seen a wheelchair in an airport, it's kind of like the when you put your bags on a European flight, like that baggage thing that you have to pull out sometimes, pay $1 for it. It's got like a area at the end, like where there's like a gap where, nothing can hit the person as they go through. My mother-in-law, as we are going, keeps putting her hand out, and I keep telling her, Mom, just put your hand down and hold on to the chair, you physically, if your arm was another 3 feet longer, you couldn't push anybody. I said, I'm going to run over them before you can ever touch them.
So she's afraid she's going to hit into them. She's blocking.
Yeah, she's doing that, and I mean, like my wife does that when I drive. She's stomping on the fucking floor because I tailgate everybody, you know. And I just, so we got done. We got in the fucking we got in the car when we got into Daytona, and I didn't say a word. We went up. We took my mom home, and my brother-in-law was watching our dogs. We picked up the dog, and we got to the house. We got the girls settled in. We walked downstairs. And my wife wanted a glass of wine. I said, like, yeah, whatever you want, you know. And I went and sat down. And she walked in and she goes, what's wrong? I said, I'm never fucking traveling anywhere with you again. I said,
well, what was the breaking point? What was it? It was the wheelchair. I mean, it's not her fault. She's got to be in a wheelchair.
No, it's the. I've been traveling for at least 40 years. I traveled since '77 with the University of Tennessee. I traveled to Arizona, Hawaii. I mean, I've been on planes my whole fucking life. It's just like, I don't miss flights. Like, I don't miss flights. You're with me. I don't miss flights. If you can see me, we're gonna get on the plane.
So trust in you.
Yeah, like this is what I do for a living. I wrestle when I get there. My job is to travel, you know, and it's just like, to the point where I have to take, like, I get on the plane to go to Daytona Beach, I've got to take a half a Xanax because I'm going to have a fucking anxiety attack because these two are fucking, I mean.
What are they saying?
It's not even they're saying, it's like we're on a fucking tightrope. It was like that fucking Indiana Jones and they're in that fucking cart and the fucking big rocks fucking, like, it was that kind of a fucking tension in the air this whole time. And it was just like, fuck. And then we get down and then we can't get on the train because the train's too full. Yeah. So we have to wait 2 minutes and 20 seconds for the next train. Well, of course, that's going to fucking cost us everything. And it was just like, oh, fuck. But the next, like, we sat down there and I apologized to my wife for being such a dick. But, and then I saw my mother-in-law yesterday and I apologized to her. I said, but in the future, I said, can you please? But this is the kicker of it all. So we get on the plane and it's the last 51 minutes of airtime. And we're flying from Atlanta to Daytona Beach. This guy comes out. He looks like the dad from Wonder Years. Can you picture him?
Comes out of where?
He's the captain.
Reveals he's gay. Oh, he steps into the, okay.
He steps in. He's got cowboy boots on, and like they're like his pants are kind of half-ass tucked in them.
Right.
Kind of a little bit of a derby, and I'm telling you, he looks just like the fucking dad from the Wonder Year. And he says, I've been doing this, he goes into this fucking whole fucking tirade. Can you trust me? When I put on the seatbelt sign, it's not because I'm doing it to control your life. I'm doing it because, and this is 2 days after the death on the Singapore Airs for the turbulence where the people didn't have their seatbelts on. But he went on and on and on. He's like, and then he finishes it with, because I know that they're doing work, and I'm going to have to land us on this short runway because they're fixing. He says, so usually, he said, we've got that 2-mile runway. He goes, this one's about a mile. So he says, the landing is going to be a little rough, and I'm going to have to, slow her down. He's going to have to rev the engines to basically get the craft. So he goes through this whole thing, And I'm just like, and I can see both of them next to me going like, "Oh fuck, man! Like we're not out of this yet." And I'm thinking like, "Dude, why didn't you just sit the fuck in the front, shut up? Nobody wants to hear you. Definitely nobody wants the visual."
Absolutely. Like flying, if you sit and think about what's going on, you could go mad. I like to think it is a magical, godlike experience. We're on a
Yes.
string. Let me think that. I don't want to see your fucking controls. I don't want to even know there's a captain.
I don't want to see your derby. I don't want to, I don't want to see the fact that you're fucking an undisciplined human being that can't push himself away from a table. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that you got ostrich fucking cowboy boots on. I mean, I'm just thinking to myself like,
Especially.
motherfucker.
You hear Merle Haggard coming out of the cockpit
Yeah.
a little bit playing. Like, Jesus Christ.
Big
Fucking
city turned me loose and set me free.
Scott flying this fucking thing.
I'm tired of this dirty old city. Too much work, never enough pay. So
all was
my
well.
Merle.
You got back.
Yeah, we made it. The girls went out on jet skis today, but they, of course, saw no dolphins. Every time I've ever been on a jet ski, it's been like an episode of Flipper. But they went out there, and there were no dolphins today. So
are they staying with you, or they're at a hotel and just visiting at the house?
no, they're 18, man. They ain't fucking. They're in lockdown.
What?
They look like two twins. Everywhere you go, some perv has got something to say to them.
Oh, really?
We're going through the airport, and some guy says, "Man, them margaritas I had must have been a lot stronger. I'm seeing double, and boy, it looks good."
Mm-hmm.
They're 18. I said, "Hey," I said, he don't know any different. I said, "They're my daughters. How'd you like to get knocked the fuck out?"
I was gonna say they didn't see the 7-foot guy walking next to them.
Well, because I'm too busy fucking motoring my mother-in-law fucking with a wheelchair.
Oh my God, that's
Fucking
great.
uncle.
See, this is
And this is the thing that tops it all off, because my wife doesn't understand. She says, "I don't understand why you're so upset." I says, "Because I don't fucking get on a plane unless I'm getting paid." You know? Like, I can fucking put up with this I'm fucking paying. So
yeah, but I mean that's you can't live your life like that. It's not reasonable. You got graduations, funerals, etc.
This was Tristan's favorite cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say his favorite. Just they spent the most time together. They were closest. This is Tamara's sister's daughter, Kelly's daughter. So
All right. Well,
I love her to death. She's it's just like I haven't been around her in so long that it's like I'm still thinking she's 14. She's so sarcastic. I mean, she's like, I'm just thinking to myself like, oh God, man, she's perfect. Like she's gonna do well in life. So
that's my 18-year-old, the mouth.
Oh,
But I always say to my wife, I said it's tough on us, but no one's gonna fuck with her.
Exactly.
Like she's not gonna step aside for some motherfucker on a job or on a set somewhere.
And you know what? Especially in that industry, fuck, you've got to.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be a shark.
True that. Well,
So that'd be my weekend.
Yeah. Well, you got something coming up. You're gonna fly again? Well,
Oh yeah.
Or you're off this weekend. What are you doing?
Well, I go out next. It'll be Saturday the 1st, I think. Right.
Okay. So
there it is. So
WILDKAT
I'm at
Wrestling.
Let me hold on, because I think I got some verbiage they wanted me to.
Oh my God, a script. What? They must be paying you a fucking fortune. Not only are you gonna go, but you're gonna promote it.
Okay, so it's
Can't get
January.
you to promote this show.
It's a June 1st event. It's WILDKAT Wrestling. It's in the New Orleans area, so look that up, WILDKAT Wrestling. If you're not watching us on YouTube, You'll see a picture of me. When that originally came out, they had a picture of me from 1996, which is my pet peeve. Like, can you put a fucking picture of me so I look like the person that they're going to see? And oh, it was just like they wanted me to do the old 1980, Hey, I'm Kevin Wildfire Rich, and I'll be at Wildcat Wrestling for life. But I said, you know what? I think we'll probably get a little bit more coverage than your Facebook if we do it on our show. So, looking forward to getting out there. I'll probably sign. I know I'll sign beforehand. So, what time does it start? Does it say?
I don't see a time. I see.
I would say that bell time's probably 7. I'll probably be check into it. I would imagine I'm signing it probably around 4 or 5.
You can go to WILDKAT with a K .eventbrite BRITE, everything's misspelled .com. So WILDKAT .eventbrite.com. Signing from 6 to 10 Central Time.
And the location is the Crescent City Christian School.
All right. Father Nash will be hearing your confession.
Does it say as the event kicks off at 6 o'clock?
Well, I guess the event is 6, so your signing would be before that, I would imagine.
Well, that's the event.
Oh, I thought it was a card.
I ain't going fucking, man. They're going 4 hours on an indie show?
Bell time of 7. Okay, so yeah, it looks like
So
the autographs are 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I have to sign for an hour? That's sweet.
So, so if you're out there in the that area, let's see, if you're watching this Monday, it'll be this Saturday. So go see Kevin. And Wildcat Wrestling, I'll give you the address at the end of the show where to send the check. Thank you. Hey, you know what was more over last week than anything in the show? Your green shirt.
The green shirts
got a lot of play.
Actually said it was iconic.
It was iconic. And Nate Nizzle is the one that said that, for God's sakes. The moment I saw Nash in the key lime jersey, I immediately thought to his guest booker appearance. It's crazy how something so generic can be so iconic. Correct.
I love that shirt for the simple fact is Kurt Angle's son with a Sharpie put like his first initial on the back of it. And when he was little, man, he was just a little guy. We were doing a signing at a baseball game somewhere, and Karen and Jeff were there. But Kurt's son was there also.
Uh-huh.
And I just heard Karen go, "Don't!" And he had already started to write his name. And so that's the reason I still have that shirt, is because I just won't throw it away, because it just reminds me of him when he was just a little guy. So
those shows we used to do, man. I mean, with everybody that would come through, I always look forward to yours.
Thanks.
Because you were never short on anything to say. If I could...
Well, that's because I'm not fucking completely out of my mind on cannabis and fucking brain dead.
There's the.
And I look like a fucking neo-Nazi in that fucking.
You went a little tight on that, on the hair in that.
I'm getting ready to do it again, because I need to get an idea of. But I think that would play good in this part that I got a film today. I got the green light that we've got funding, so I'll be doing a film. I don't know any specifics. I do know that we're waiting on a actress that hasn't worked in a while. That's absolutely an amazingly gifted actress and a very, very attractive human being, and she's going to add so much to this film, especially since I'm trying to kill her in this film.
Well, maybe send that photo to the hair and makeup people and see if you can get approval to do the buzz cut.
It's just like anything else. If you show up like that, then it's up to hair and makeup to fucking,
It's like when Brando showed up on the set of Apocalypse Now. They wanted him emaciated for having lived in the jungle. He showed up 900 pounds and hadn't even read the Joseph Conrad book. Amazing.
He is Brando.
In this age of all these wrestling podcasts and whatever you call like the YouTube shoot interviews they do now, I look back at that kayfabe stuff and I look at that like Sympathy for the Devil and Yesterday, and that's the foundational stuff. They should be revered as the classics.
But the thing was doing yours was like doing. It was like fucking. What is that thing? It's Price is Right. It like there was a format. Like you knew, like
right.
You know what I mean? Like there was like, what games were you going to play? Like it was, and every time you went, it was always like we would talk one or two times, before. But I knew like we're going to do, and then we just would just shoot the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's another thing people, people please out there understand that Sean and I will have a conversation during the week, and we'll have some ideas of things we want to talk about during the show, but everything's privy to whether or not, I mean, if something, if an asteroid changes course and is going to hit us before our air date, I'm sure we'll probably talk more about the asteroid than we will AEW wrestling. But, it's like we don't. This is our planning is for the people that join the 11 Soft. Like that's pretty much our blueprint. Like the people that are our family in the 11 Soft Club. They kind of have an idea where we're going, but I'm sure a lot of times it's just like they didn't cover shit they were talking about before the show.
I liken this to Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
We talk about kind of what's got to get done in the scene, and then when we get out there, whatever kind of comes out is what comes out.
Yeah.
I.e., we've been on for 50 minutes, and we're still on the introduction page, about a quarter of the way down. But I can tell people that Sly Carey loves the tap-out segment. Testing Big Kev's patience is always a hilarious bit. Duck Life 420 was watching last week. He said, "Blunt time, baby. I got my bong and a cup of delicious tea, ready to listen to the terrific two of Kevin and Sean. One of my favorite podcasts to smoke weed to. I love to smoke weed. I don't stop. I have a CPAP machine hooked up to a vaporizer filled with a plug of Turkish hashish."
Nice.
Thank
what
you,
a
Duck
different
Life.
buzz hash is. It's such a because when I was living in Europe, like we never got bud. I'd go to the train station, I'd find like a Jamaican dude. They always had the hash, and it would be like this. Like it would come. This would be about a 150 to 200 mark piece of hash.
What is the scientific difference? Is it not cannabis?
Hashish is, I mean, it's it's so different because it's like hash is like hard. It's like it's, and then you have to take a lighter and take it to it and then crumble it up and put it in a pot. Like a lot of people like would roll it like in a cigarette over in Europe. But I always, like, I was so fucking ghetto. I used to just get an aluminum can and fucking bend it and use a knife and fucking just smoke my hash out of a can. Which
That's
I found
very
out.
street of you, bro.
Well, I found out later on that, but I would scrape the paint off of the, but just make a carburetor and then you just smoke it just. But plus it was illegal as fuck over there. And you just smash the can when you're done and throw it away.
Right.
So you never had paraphernalia.
Tony Danza for Life was watching. He says, "Kevin, please at least try to add to conversation. You straight up no-sell Sean when he's obviously trying to segue or get a discussion going. The weed's messing with your memory, dog. You went from articulate to barely able to form a sentence. Love Tony on Taxi.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. You get one. And I try to explain to people, and maybe I haven't done a very good job on this show, but sooner or later you're going to get to a point in your life where you're 64, 65 years old, and you get up when the fuck you want to. You do basically what the fuck you want to. You don't answer to anyone. And there are days that I don't fucking really communicate with anybody. I don't talk on the phone. I'm not a fucking big internet guy. I'm not a huge electronic guy. I don't play video games. I watch television. I watch fucking sports. I watch movies. I watch Kennedy assassination documentaries.
The copious amount that are on Amazon Prime.
Anything I can, yeah. It's I do watch a lot of documentaries. Watch travel shit. Watch anytime it's house hunters buying homes in Europe. I do that, but it's just like I don't interact with people as I did at one time in my life. Or you're a different human being if you're sitting there in a plane and you're thinking about a 2.5 minute promo that you've got to cut the next time you're on live TV, as to, instead of somebody that fucking, I'm in Bikini Bottom, I'm fucking Patrick. I'm like, I have nothing I have to fucking do, dude. So Sean is still fucking an intricate part of society. He's molding people. He's doing what Sean does. Sean writes. Sean reads. Sean does a lot of fucking like my wife was, when she kind of saw his resume, she goes, "Wow, like your partner," because she didn't know Sean. She was like, "Your partner is articulate. He's multi-talented." I said, "Yeah, that's why when T said you should do a podcast, I went to Sean first." But at the same time, hey man, if you followed my fucking career, you know one thing. Outsiders, 30 years together, I didn't start the fucking matches. I sat on the apron. I came in the heat. Scott did all the work. It hasn't changed. Okay? I'm a lazy motherfucker. If Sean can fucking carry this show the whole fucking time, I'm not. Hey, Sean fucking can beat him. Fucking, there's no reason for me to tag in. So I'm not stoned. I'm just sitting over. Maybe I'm enjoying Sean's conversation. I jump in when I have to and when I want to. Obviously, that day I didn't want to or need to. So shut the fuck up. And if you don't like it, don't watch the goddamn show.
It's reality, right? Sometimes you have something to say. Sometimes you don't.
Nah, it's like,
sometimes, sometimes you want to listen. Sometimes you want to talk. Sometimes you want to tell me that I stepped all over the Christmas story last week, for God's sakes. And that's reality programming, not the fake reality.
You did afterwards.
TV.
Oh, no, you did say something. No, that's just fucking because I'm a dick.
Absolutely. But you know what? You're not too much of a dick to use Rocket Money.
Ooh, nice segue.
To get your finances in order, Kev. Listen, the average person, these statistics shock me every time I see them. 75% of people have subscriptions that they've forgotten about, okay? Myself included, before I logged on to Rocket Money for the first time. I mean, you may think you've got, like right now off the top of your head, if you're listening to this, throw out a number. Don't sit and open your phone. Throw out a number. How many recurring subscriptions do you think you have right now? You'll probably say 7, 8. That's what I thought. I had no idea until I saw this list how much I'm paying for. Sometimes you have duplicates. A couple of people in the house sign up for the same thing. Sometimes you're repaying on something that you signed up for 5 years ago because you wanted to watch one episode of something or something. And you don't even realize that it's recurring. You don't have to go through the whole rigmarole to cancel. Rocket Money, if you're looking at the graphic, it's that easy. Your list. You see that screen that says recurring, your list? You go right down that list. You don't like something that's there, bang, you tap it, it's done. They cancel it. It's this easy. Thanks to Rocket Money, you no longer have to waste money on anything you forgot that you're paying for, okay? It's a personal finance app as well. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, but it monitors your spending. It helps you lower bills so that you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users. That's million, folks, and they have saved everyone, that combined aggregate group, a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when you use all of the app's features. It's no joke, guys. Stop wasting money on the things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Nash. That's rocketmoney.com/Nash. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the number one.
So, Tamara and
podcast
I
in the world.
both saw this liver detox product on Instagram.
Okay.
So I ordered it, and not knowing, she ordered it. So boom, 5 boxes of this shit come for me, and 5 boxes come for her.
Wow.
So it's made in Portugal, and it's like a Ponzi scheme. You can't. There's nobody picks up the phone number. There's nowhere. It's like, and so she said, I'm going to call American Express and just tell them that they can't charge anymore on the card. I said, you know what? Fuck them. I said, we'll just go to Rocket and we'll just unsubscribe, and
Right.
they'll be done.
Perfect.
And it was so much easier just to go boom. And there's a lot of satisfaction. See, it's not just you not knowing, it's that there's so many scams out there that you don't know when you order $17.95 for some purple toothpaste that's going to make your teeth whiter. And
It's
then
upstairs in my bathroom. It's cool.
and
I
you
smile.
yes, and then you got another one cut, and then 2.5 weeks later, there's another one, and another
My
one.
teeth are so fucking white right now.
Oh,
You wouldn't believe it. White or purple, depending on the light that you're looking at me in.
Yeah, but I mean, I got the same damn thing. And I mean, did you? I had to say uncle.
I wasn't responsible for that purchase, but goddamn, it's here.
They subscribed. I was on a subscription. I was just like, fuck, man, I'm not Mr. Ed. I don't fucking. I mean, I brush my teeth. I got personal hygiene, but fuck, I couldn't use that much toothpaste. So I had to put the kibosh on them
Had to
too.
hit the Rocket Money jam on them.
Rocket Money fucking gave them the fucking dusty elbow.
We are working hard today, Kevin. Today's Monday, Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. Even though because you're not listening, because you're not going to work, so it's Tuesday for you, catching up on everything you missed the day before. Jerome Manley said, I was listening to the Kayfabe Commentaries of 1995 and heard could have had that match in an Iron Lung story for the first time. Now Sean references it while Nash is coughing. I guess last week I pulled out the Chief J. That's for anyone who didn't see it. I think both you and I think Waltman told those stories on air for Kayfabe.
Chief was great, man.
A great story in his book, which I hope to continue working on soon. The market is so weird for wrestling books right now. There was like a flurry, and then everyone panicked, like, there's too many out there. So, like, we're in this holding pattern. But he about Chief. He was a very cantankerous cat, right? So I've heard a lot of divergent opinions on Chief. Some people couldn't stand him. Waltman came to love him.
I loved him. He was good to me.
And the story about his real first name. Now everyone knows him as Joe Scarpa, right? So he says to Waltman, he goes, "You think you know everything, huh?" Because I guess Waltman walked around with a bit of that attitude, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's my first name?" And he's like, "Joe." He's like, "Nope." So Waltman gets back to the hotel that night or whatever, and he calls Malenko, his trainer. And he comes in the next day, and he's walking by Chief. Everyone's saying, hey, hey, hey. He walks by, he goes, "Hey, Luke." He walks by, he goes, "How'd you know that?" How'd you know that? Luke Scarpa, not even Joe.
The thing that kills me though is when we used to go to this bar, and it was in Cleveland, it was by all the shitty strip joints, and they played wrestling tapes the whole time that we were in there, and you always hear like Sarge, like Goulet would say, "Oh yeah, that son of a bitch, I went 60-minute with him over there. That guy, I carry him 60 minutes." You watch the match, Sarge just got the fucking guy in a headlock for 49 minutes. You're like, fuck, man. So they put up Chief, man, and Chief went into that that little dance he used to do, and I'm like, who the fuck bought that guy was an Indian?
Man, he carried that off. He did that whole dance around the ring, which turned into the knee lift.
To me, it was one of those deals where I'm saying to myself, like, because I'm looking at him and he looks like fucking Walter Klugman's dad or something, and I'm just thinking like this, like I see when you watch tapes of Dusty. And he's, like there's a great tape, a clip that's on Instagram of him and Akeem, and like he gives an Akeem the elbow, and Akeem's dancing and doing his shit around, and and it's just like I'm watching that going, the amount of charisma in that ring, and it's just like.
Did you send that to me this week? Because I saw that this week. It must have
might have, because I every time
he's doing the elbows, right?
Yeah, because to me, like the greatest change of a character was one man gang going in the alley and coming out of Keem. And that's
the beauty of wrestling. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to have logic, as long as the performer commits.
Yes.
The wrestler, I shouldn't say performer, but no, they were performers, man. As long as they commit, you could do anything.
Kind of like AEW did this Wednesday. They committed. They opened the show strong with Orange Cassidy, and who I think is their brightest young talent, Will Ospreay. And Rodney Strong was in the match. He's one of the I can't keep track. He's got one of these several belts, and
the 800 belts.
Yeah,
good guy. He worked for me once. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I got a chance to be around them, those guys a little bit down in NXT, and got a chance to watch them as they developed, and I knew they were going to be a special crew. But that picture in a picture, you can't. Don't give me 3 minutes of their fucking 12-minute match in a 60-40 picture in a picture, and I'm just like, wow, man, like, don't put them on first then. If you've got some contractual, like, it was, I couldn't believe it.
How long was the break?
The first break was 3 minutes. I don't think there was another one in the match, but it was so long that you don't watch the wrestling. It's too small. And like one thing I did notice in watching that match, because I rewound it to see how long they were in commercial, because I didn't want to get it wrong. And it was only 3 minutes, but it seemed like 3 hours. And I remember writing TV, you'd have to do those 2:45s. That's a long commercial break, 2:45.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I noticed when I watched the match, especially when I watched it back, that Ospreay is, as much as Meltzer puts him over, he has a tendency to throw bad rushed punches to keep that speed. Like everything is about that speed and about that pace and that rhythm. And if you're out there, Will, slow the fuck down. Watch Shawn Michaels. Like Shawn Michaels made his punches count. Watch Shawn throw those punches when he was, especially against like somebody like Scott, like a bigger guy. Like fucking Shawn's punches look like they could hurt you. So slow those fucking down. You can still, because you can motor so quick off with step and a half. If you get cut off and thrown off the ropes, you can still motor and do everything. Just it's not going to slow the match down. It's going to make your shit more believable. So, and I'm saying this to you. I'm saying this out of trying to help you out. I'm sure you fucking got a dojo somewhere that you're going to fucking challenge me next week. I get
Muay
it.
Thai.
Yeah, 6 months from now, you'll be a much better version of yourself. You'll be 6'8", but I just wanted to.
How's
tell
the
you
lower part of Will's body? Is it?
Okay? He was trying to give. I don't know what her name is on this show now. Is it Mercedes? What is
Yeah.
it? Okay, he was giving her a kind of a run for bad, expensive gear. Like it didn't match. It had like some. It didn't match. He looked like that one Kelsey that was at the game with it dressed up like some fucking character. Yeah.
There it is. We have an image of it here.
If we get a close up of his gear, that's not. That just because
Fine
everything's
from this distance.
Yeah.
But okay, so some advice for Will.
So
Hopefully
did
he's listening.
Kennedy's head from a fucking satellite.
From a saddle. Dick. Let's see. Adrian Gomez watched last week. I just want to point out, he said, just reimagining the Saturday Night Live Land Shark with Mudshark.
Nice.
Imagine.
Who is it? Telegram.
Yep. Feed the Mudshark right into Jane Curtin's bouquet.
Pizza. I know that's you, I know that's you, Mudshark.
Tom Talker 2000. Funny you should mention Red Lobster, Kevin, as I read an article today that was quite interesting. How Red Lobster's misguided endless shrimp promotion drove it to bankruptcy. A snippet from the article says last summer Red Lobster made $20 endless shrimp a permanent menu item. Endless shrimp was a successful annual limited time offer. Then Red Lobster was the major shareholder was Thai Union, a Bangkok-based canned seafood company, saw the promotion as a way to sell off mountains of shrimp it was catching and turned it into an everyday item. That is true. But Fast Company, just yesterday, Kevin, so coincidentally, we were talking about this, and then I saw that this article got posted yesterday about the full story of the demise of Red Lobster. And you know what? Everybody's kind of right, depending on which story you've heard. If you've heard the shrimp thing, there's some truth to it because that Thai Union company, which was a seafood provider, became the major stakeholder. So what happened was, how do I do this briefly?
I don't think you can.
The endless shrimp thing is a great punchline.
Can I go take a quick leak while
I talk about this, for God's sakes?
Yeah, because I know where you're going. Or can we come back? Like,
let's
cut.
You want to break and then
let's
back.
cut and come back because I don't have a bottle down here tonight.
Or you would have pissed on air for us again.
Usually,
right?
Yeah, I don't have one.
All right.
And I was trying to get this poured in my cup, and I can't, and I don't want to waste a little bit of water, so. As they say, my back teeth are floating. So give me two.
I'll sing. No, I'm going to sing.
Okay, sing. Sing about fucking Red Lobster.
We're going to sing.
Wasn't stage is yours.
B-52 song? That was Rock Lobster by the B-52.
Singing about Red Lobster.
Rock Lobster.
It would have actually been funny if you were like, yeah, just go ahead, and he got up and walked off, and he just left his screen like that while you were talking about Red Lobster, and then he just comes back.
No explanation, and he comes back as Akeem.
Right.
He
That guy's
walks back in.
leaves as the one-man gang and comes
That guy's
back.
comment next week would be a picture of you talking to an empty chair.
Don't
Like,
edit this
I
out.
told
Leave
you.
this in the show. This stays in the show. This is
Does
reality.
this all stay in the show?
Absolutely. This
All
is
right.
reality programming. Enough of this editing.
My bassy
For God's
COVID
sakes.
voice.
Enough of
This
this
is
editing.
what,
We were just talking about. God, you know how fucking hard it is for me not to turn my mic on and camera when you guys are talking about directors and editing and at the fucking start of the show. I'm blowing up the private chat with which directors were editors and which ones weren't.
Well, I don't see why we couldn't have. Well, you guys listen. You guys let us know out there. Do you want crew banter? I've always liked crew banter in any show that I've watched. It's when I was a kid. There was a show called The Uncle Floyd Show here in New Jersey. It was very much a public access show. But and Floyd Vivino was the host, and he had a puppet, but it wasn't for kids. It was like adult programming, but Uncle Floyd had a puppet. I guess it only stayed local. No one knows what I'm talking about, but you would hear the crew sometimes. So I always liked crew banter. And then obviously Stern was the one that like brought the crew on as like castmates. So I have no problem when you guys were. Kev, I was just saying that this stuff should stay in when we talk and there's a break and they come on. It's why this is different than everything else. It feels like
I think we should just go with the show like right from here.
All right.
That's
So,
what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
Yeah, because
The Fast
we're
Company
these-
article.
Yeah, so now I don't know. To me, it's this. It's like when I was in the ring, and especially early in my career when there was so much kayfabe going on, and like there'd be like the main event would be in the ring, but 2 or 3 of the boys would fucking stick their heads out through the curtain in the back, and the whole fucking crowd that was watching the main event would go. Because what they really wanted to see was that.
right.
They knew what the fuck that was. They wanted
Yeah.
to see what was going on back there.
That's interesting.
And that's
Me and Steve are the real draws.
We're the-
watch these numbers. We'll be the
This
thumbnail
is-
this week, Steve. We'll
guys
Photoshop
will-
me and you onto them two.
that's it. Fucking,
Biden will not know what fucking hit him. His numbers are
fucking
Because we totally weren't on that thumbnail.
right.
Fucking
No,
Dom
we-
had to go record Rob's show tonight. This could have been
He's
his moment.
recorded 9 other shows today. He gets plenty of airtime.
Kev, you know what I thought would have been funny when you stepped out of camera and you left the empty chair? When you came back, if you came back as Akeem, that would have been huge. But I figured you didn't have the outfit there.
no. Even Oz would have been great.
So the way private equity companies work, and those are companies that come in and buy a distressed company, right? Let's say, for lack of a better. And I mean, it's never with the intention to right the ship. They're going to gobble this thing eventually. So what Golden Gate Capital did with Red Lobster back in 2014, they bought Red Lobster from Darden Restaurants. They were a restaurateur that owned stuff like Olive Garden and Longhorn and stuff. So when a private equity firm comes in, it finances the acquisition by loading the company down with debt. So the company's basically paying to be acquired over time. It makes the deal cheaper for the private equity firm, but it makes it harder for the company to survive. They need someone to come in because they're in trouble to start with. Now it's basically like the mob, right? So like now you're paying usurious amounts of money to them to be saved. So what this company Golden Gate Capital does, they add the debt to Red Lobster, but in a deviously brilliant move, they sell all of the real estate assets that Red Lobster has for $1.5 billion, and then makes the restaurant lease it from them. That deal, just the sale of the real estate, financed the entire takeover, and then the rent checks they just collected from this distressed company was all profit. For however many years, 2014, 10 years of profit. Every Red Lobster you saw was paying to lease the land it once owned. That's like me coming to your house, saying, "Oh, you're having a hard time paying the bills? Let me buy your house from you.
Doesn't Tom Selleck
Sell
call
it
that
off.
Doesn't
Take the
Tom
profit."
Tom Selleck call that a reverse mortgage?
The reverse mortgage gimmick. Remember he was pushing that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, the reverse mortgage. So anyway, so incredibly this happens. Now, Golden Gate, after it fattens itself up on all this money. Oh, by the way, to add to the devilishness of the deal, Kevin, it's what's called a triple net lease, which means that in addition to paying to lease the property back from the company that just sold it all, the company is still responsible for all of the operating expenses that happen on that. So, like property taxes, insurance, they're still paying too. It gave like this much room for error from this distressed restaurant company. So, so now what happens is Golden Gate sells a 25% stake in this, right, to a company called Thai Union for $575 million. That's 25%. So that puts that valuation at $2 billion, right? So Thai Union is already their shrimp supplier. So now they have a stake in it. So what do they say? Hey, guys, why don't you do something called endless shrimp and buy everything we catch, no matter if you sell it or not? That was the final straw, because Thai Union eventually, because this deal is so incredible, they buy the remaining 75% from Golden Gate. So now the shrimp supplier is just shoveling. It's like that scene in Goodfellas when they take over the bar. They load it in one side.
And they're coming out the back. Yeah.
With their fucking shrimp. So it starts as a real estate deal, then gets sold to the shrimp company that just move all their goddamn boatloads of shrimp out the door. That's the story of Red Lobster.
So, yeah.
It's your business lesson for the day, everyone. Good God.
And my whole thing is everybody that you talk to when they, because we've all been to a Red Lobster in our lives, and we've all had the cheesy biscuits, and it's like everybody, when it first came out, it was like, oh fuck, because these chain restaurants just don't fucking do very well and anymore, and so everybody was saying it was this endless shrimp thing that killed it, and my wife and I, when we first heard the story, we went, well, what what month in a row did you look at your books and go, hey, this fucking endless shrimp thing's killing us, but we need to keep it going? So we were trying to figure out what the fucking yard, bud.
Exactly.
Do you have one of those cough buttons?
Yeah.
I don't have one. Maybe this thing.
It's on the bottom of your screen. When I have to make unkind noises, I need to hit that.
But so we were just saying, and then when the equity, like when the whole story was told, and then you say to yourself, "Fuck!" Like how, like BlackRock and the purchasing of single-family homes. It's like when you just start looking into all the ways that these fucking conglomerates, these giant fucking, they're just eating everything alive.
Yeah.
And they go into to places like Phoenix and Austin and places like that, where real estate's hard to get as it is. They pay a premium dollar for the real estate, knowing that real estate's going nowhere but up. So it's almost like it's the old, in 10 years you put money in Wall Street, and in 10 years historically you'll make 10% on your money, unless it was 90 to 2000, then you didn't make a fucking dime. Thank you so much. But yeah, it's just, speaking of Nikki Haley.
It's so funny. I'm staring at and I have written after the Fast Company link, I have written into Nikki Haley / Justice Alito, and you're talking, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw in somewhere. I gotta throw in somewhere.
Yeah.
But you threw in.
Well, I just that was another thing where I'm just saying, as a political move, and I think we're all at this point, like, I read some of the messages that come across, and they're just like, please, no politics. It's not even really politics anymore. Like, anybody that watched The Cat from Massachusetts fuck with that guy from the House about talking about Trump. Did you see any of that?
No.
Oh, Jesus, it's fucking priceless. Find it. Where the guy goes off about Trump and about all of his court cases, and somebody, one of the Republicans yells, I want that stricken from the records. They go on an hour break, and they have to strike it from the records, and they come back, and this black woman reads the words that are stricken, and but the guy from Massachusetts, and the guy he's doing Johnson's job. He's in charge. He's a representative from Alabama. He can't read. He can't pronounce anything. He doesn't. They're going on like this Jefferson fucking, proxy that it's just absolutely comical. It's like when you're stoned and you watch the British Parliament and they all got the wigs on.
That's
and
a blast.
Yeah, it's like we're that right now, man. It's like it's so fucked up. So
the difference is there's always a tongue-in-cheek aspect to Parliament. Here
Right.
they want to stab each other and cut each other.
Yeah. Well, it was there's our boy right there. That guy. I mean,
so Jim McGovern.
I was admonished for stating the simple fact that the former president was indicted by a grand jury and is on trial in a court of law. That's not my opinion. It's just the truth. Last week during debate, a Republican member of this House said, and I quote, "Watch the former president of the United States being hauled into court day after day with a sham trial," end quote. He wasn't admonished. I just referenced the same trial, and I was. In this Republican-controlled House, it's okay to talk about the trial, but you have to call it a sham.
We take down his words.
It's okay to say the jury is rigged.
Mr. Speaker, I demand that his words be taken down.
It's okay to say the court is corrupt.
Gentlemen will suspend.
But not Trump is corrupting the rule of law.
Ay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But,
So NIKKI is much like AEW. She's all in.
She's all in. And the thing is, so my wife and I were having a conversation about this, and she's under the assumption now that because she is going to back Trump, that 12% or whatever she was still getting on each of these primaries was going to vote for Trump. And I said, I don't know, sweetheart. I said, I think the reason that they were still voting for somebody that was no longer running was they were looking for an alternative to Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know if those are Kennedy. I said, I don't know where they're going to go. I said, but it's like, it's very interesting. Like Trump was he in Brooklyn? Was he in the Bronx? He had a very large black Latino showing somewhere in one of the boroughs in New York.
Okay.
I caught it on Fox. And yes, I do watch Fox. Only when Tyrus is on it, but never mind. He's getting it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it's just, Nikki Haley talked shit about Trump to the point where everybody knows that if you talk shit about Trump, he's like a fucking elephant. He's not going to fucking forget it. And, she said the words, he is not fit to be president of the United States. Mm-hmm. And then she goes and endorses him. I don't know what her fucking game plan is, but if she thinks that if Trump wins, that she's going to get a fucking cabinet spot or any spot, besides maybe fucking thrown in jail? I mean,
no, he's like a child. He's not going to forget any of those.
no, he's not, and
words.
she's not going to get any and
unless a deal's already been made, Kevin.
Well, my whole thing is, and I don't remember who I was watching last night. It was a definitely left-wing, leftist side television show, but they said that the move. Oh, what it was a GOP that was on MSNBC. That was a GOP member, and they said that Trump at this point should make the move to secure those Haley votes. Like whether or not he's going to just, I mean, you got to get the votes first. So go ahead and say, okay, thanks for jumping aboard and making sure you get those Haley votes, and then fucking put her in the guillotine after the election. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It just to me it's just another. And people are like, oh, they're talking politics, dude. I don't understand the difference between politics is the war machine's entertainment. That's their entertainment channel. So this giant conglomerate, like I just went to fucking Huntsville. You talking about, you're sitting in the fucking airport and it's like, Raytheon, like the ad after, and they've got that Redstone arsenal there where they fucking fire rockets and everybody's building weapons, and it's like, and it's the number one place to move and growth, and it's like that's what this fucking we're not happy unless we're fucking making weapons. I mean, war is fucking war, and the politics is just that's the entertainment fucking channel of the war machine.
Mm-hmm. Carlin has a lot of good stuff on that.
Yeah,
so far ahead of his time in so many ways. Which, of course, brings to mind Justice Alito and his flags.
Yeah, but that's I mean, everybody knows, man, that if you're the dude around the house, like your wife puts up and takes down the flag.
I was going to say, doesn't Tamara decide what flag's going to fly in front of the house?
I told her the other day. I said she couldn't get T's Jeep to turn, because nobody really drives anymore, and. I said to her, if you check the battery, and she went out there and she goes, I got this. So I think she went today and took the old battery out and going to put the new one in, because that's just what women do.
Right.
I was too busy in the fucking closet hiding gold.
Right. So, and now obviously also, having said that, you wouldn't in any way, I mean, if the wife wants an upside down flag up and kiss my ass in heaven. What's the tree called, or the goddamn tree? Something about heaven.
Steve, what's the tree called?
Now, obviously, if you're going to put that up, you are in no position to
just say it, Steve. Are you there?
He might be searching. He might be vomiting in his shoes. He's got COVID. Appeal to heaven, not kiss my ass.
Appeal to heaven flag.
Now, obviously, if your wife wants to hang that, you in no way have any right to say, honey, that might show a bias, and I have a job. You might not know what I've been doing for the last 15 years, but I have a job that I can't show deference to anyone in one of the other supposed separation of power, division of the como te llamas. So I can't necessarily give my opinion on what's going on at the executive branch, because I'm in the judicial branch here. Can't do that.
Has the Supreme Court ever, in your lifetime, like I always had respect for the Supreme Court, and now it's just like, it's just another fucking skit on fucking Saturday Night Live. It's just another, like, are you fucking kidding me, right? And he did what?
Right.
Like he turned the sign for distress, and it's not like he's got a fucking badass crib or anything. I mean, this shit's just right on this. It looked like he had a fucking Plymouth Horizon station wagon or something. I was just like, what the fuck? But
Yeah, but I mean, we're at that.
he's not on the take like fucking Thomas, that's for sure. He's just a dumb fuck that's got a flag upside down.
Yeah, distressing. All of it distressing. All of it distressing.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna fucking fly a flag upside down because of what we got in the Supreme Court. Because I'm under distress.
You know what would help you though, because with distress comes sweating, perspiration. Mando, Kevin, is the answer to everything that you're talking about now.
Well, I'm dry right now because my pit's got Mando. I'm Mando pitted.
You're all Mandoed up. I love the whole suite of Mando products, by the way. I have used, God, what haven't I used? I've used the shower gel. I have that very one right there, that orange shower gel. I currently have a cream. I have the Mount Fuji cream in my drawer. The deodorant, lovely. They even have wipes. Guys, this is the total scent solution for men. Okay, have you heard of Lumi whole body deodorant? I know the ladies, it got hugely popular so quickly. My wife even dove in when that started. Well, now this is Lumi for men, Mando. Okay, that's what we're talking about. It's doctor developed, but in cologne quality scents for men, and it's not overbearing scents. It's just the right amount. Check out these scents, okay? Imagine if deodorant didn't smell like deodorant. That's Mando, okay? It's made with mandelic acid, okay? It's an alpha hydroxy acid that blocks the sweat-eating bacteria on your skin and prevents it from causing odor, so you don't even smell in the first place, okay? So this isn't just to cover up. This goes in and fights it at the cellular level, for God's sakes, all right? You could put it on morning, noon, night. Carry the cream around. You got to smack it around a little bit, you know, freshen yourself up in the middle of the day. Long-lasting as well. Okay, I've used it. Kevin's used it. Kevin actually pioneered the putting these sheets into your shoes when you come home. That was.
I have repurchased my stick deodorant.
Yes.
So I mean, it's like, this isn't just something like my wife does AG1 every morning. I do my it's like, you know, I use my manscaping. I use my Mando. I mean, that's one thing that's great about having the show is we do get a chance to use these products. And we've been very blessed to have some really great products come aboard and be a part of the team. And this Mando is just, I keep it in the little box, whatever you want to call it, the console between my seats, my Mustang. Mm-hmm. And when I get in my car, because beforehand, you know, a lot of times, man, I'd have to Febreze my car and get. Now I just before I get in the car, I reach in, I Mando the pits a little bit. I'm
Tremendous.
good.
Guys, you can put this right on the family jewels down south, by the way, also, and you don't worry about it. You know why? Because Mando is aluminum-free, baking soda-free, cruelty-free, dye-free. Slather yourself with some Mando, guys. By the way, clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor is about a 5 out of 10. With Mando, the average grundle odor is a 0 out of 10. All right, Mando's starter pack. Jump in with this. It's perfect for Father's Day. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, the cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash, deodorant wipes we're talking about, and free shipping. Give the man in your life the gift of aluminum-free whole body deodorant. New customers will get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. That's 40% off the starter pack with the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at shopmando.com, shopmando.com, and use the promo code KLIQ. Thank you, Mando. Love me, my Mando. And if you want to join everybody in the house here who's watching us live, go on social media. Watch how they talk about it. They love the pre-show. They tweet while we're doing it, and they get to ask questions here, too. It's truly being a part of the family. When you go to KliqThisTV.com, KliqThisTV.com, sign up for the 11 Soft Club. You will not regret it. Kev, you know what I want to ask you about? King of the Ring is far more watchable now because they've added the SummerSlam stipulation, right?
Right. So the winner of the men's King of the Ring, that brand will go against the champion at SummerSlam. It's title shots, and same thing for the women's King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring champion.
So Gunther will be facing, it looks like, because as we speak right now, the SmackDown is on. So it's either going to be Randy Orton or Tama Tonga, right? Probably be Randy, I would assume.
I would think so.
But and Wes would like you to make a prediction on how many chops, if it is Orton and Gunther, Saturday.
I'm going to go.
The over/under is 22.
I'm going under.
Under 22. Okay.
Yeah.
Cody defending against.
If he catches Randy on the nipple on one of the first 3, I might go 4.
You know, I caught too. Tony Khan was talking about healthy competition in pro wrestling. He was defending his social media work. And he said, I don't want to misquote him, so I'm going to read it exactly here. This is from Wrestling Headlines. I always want to give credit. He was on a radio show. He was on the Rocker Morning Show, WRKR 107.7. He was asked about the Monday Night Wars of WCW and WWE, and he likened it to today's social media being a key component in the healthy back and forth between AEW and WWE. Can we really compare what's happening now?
I loved the Gunter is all in.
The photo? Who's got that?
Elite.
Put that up. We got
the
that.
All Elite.
Gunter is all elite in the empty arena.
I watched last night. It was Billy Gunn's 2 kids, and then some guy that looks like he was. Let's see. Oh, he doesn't know. Wesley, there it is.
There it is.
Gunter is all elite. I thought that was pretty fucking funny.
Incredibly brilliant.
But it's the gun. Billy's two kids, and then it looks like some guy that is playing some bootlegger from the 30s as their mouthpiece, and they. It's so hard for these guys to go out and work the hard camera because there's nobody there. And yeah, his name's Jay White.
Yeah, think about this. See, now, having never been in the ring myself, now I'm thinking about this for the first time. Where my focal point is going to be, that's where they put the empty seats because they're filming in the other direction. Everybody's behind me.
So you have to.
And I'm turning to an empty arena.
You have to turn your. And I mean, that's the difference between a pro and not a pro. Like, that's the difference between somebody this season.
Right.
Like, so you're telling me that you would rather go out and work in front of 3,000 people and have 3,000 people see you than have 720,000 people see you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
yeah, you almost have to be like, if you're the worker, it's got to be like being on a set or on a stage where you're pretending everything in front of you is not there.
And they do a job from a production standpoint where once the guy comes down, and Jay did a good job of, it's almost like he kind of pulled the two gun kids like to where they were at the ropes and they were looking at the hard camera, but it's just, they kind of said some things that got a reaction, and then when you get a reaction, it's really, really hard.
I know.
You know, not to fucking turn. But see, this is the shot they do. So this is the close-up shot they do, which allows them to kind of half-ass split the difference. And Jay's got people over his left shoulder, and he'll cut that promo that way, and he's got nobody fucking in front of him.
Right.
Yeah. To his right shoulder, there's not a fucking soul.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like at TNA, the way it was set up, there was still maybe 8 rows of people on the hard camera side. So you've got to have somebody to work with. Somebody, to make eye contact with, somebody, because, it comes across very like Stepford Wives if you just go right at that hard camera,
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Are you playing to the audience as much as you're playing to the camera, Kevin, on a televised wrestling event?
I mean, I'm just speaking myself personally. I don't know about anybody else. I'm working the camera, but I'm never saying. And we would do it a little bit because the NWO was kind of a thing we did where we would actually come down. But Hulk would do it, so you had to. If you didn't do it, then you would end up walking by Hulk. So you had to stop. And I don't like anybody that talks to the handheld. Like if a handheld camera's backing up, I hate when somebody says, "I'm coming to get you." I mean, that takes away your whole entrance of coming down. See, they're hanging on the rope there. Jay pulled. It was hard, but Jay pulled them all there. So, kudos to that.
Mm-hmm. I want to go back to something you said. You're talking about, so when you say talk to the hard cam, you mean like during the match, if they turn, or you mean coming down the ramp?
Any time. Like the camera's not there unless you are cutting the promo. And I liked it at the WWE. They towards the end of my career would actually have the handheld guy get in the ring. So he would shoot you so you could be in the middle of the ring, but he could come in and shoot you. It was
during a promo,
right? Just more. But once the working the people, man, that's house show shit.
Right.
I mean, that's what that's where you can put in so much. Those Billy's kids do a good job of getting heat. Like I know both of them. I like both of them. I've watched them grow up. Billy's a friend of mine, but they get heat with me. They're just natural fucking heat getters. Where Billy's the exact opposite. You couldn't fucking dislike Billy Gunn if you fucking wanted
he's
to.
So fucking funny too.
He's such a great guy. He's always got a smile on his face.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, the world's fucking largest, stiffest fucking handshake.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to stay on the camera thing for a minute because this is interesting to me. So all right. So working the fans, that's house show stuff. That's skill. So you're aware when it's Raw or Nitro or anything today, Dynamite. First and foremost, camera, right? Because this is a TV medium. It's a TV show.
But at the same time, I've got to watch the product back at some point and realize, the WWE, I don't know how many cameras they have now, but I'm catching a lot of the AEW guys smacking. Like doing a kick and smacking their leg to make
the sound.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of that where the WWE, man, it's really like you don't see people missing punches because, man, they do a really good job of switching the cameras. So from a production, I just don't think that AEW has the same amount of cameras that WWE. And then if it's the same situation, which I know it is, because they use the TNT crews, you got a guy on handheld that was shooting a NASCAR race on Sunday, and he's shooting wrestling on Wednesday. So I mean, they're skilled. They're skilled as fuck, and they're versatile as fuck. But you've got television cameramen shooting wrestling, whereas the WWE has wrestling cameramen shooting wrestling.
Right. Now, when you guys would have to take the fight outside the ring, right? Maybe you're going to be beyond just ringside. I'm talking about if shit's going to happen up the ramp, off the ramp, whatever. The production end of it, the production people get that in advance, right? Because they know they need a handheld in the audience because you guys are going to fight up the stairs or whatever.
And WWE is really good because they've always got the crane. So they've always got that crane shot that they can bring that camera down, and then it's such an easier follow. And you don't get the congestion of seeing the handhelds. So
right.
It takes away that I'm watching produced wrestling kind of feel.
Mm-hmm. What about backstage schmazes like that when you're gonna jump somebody or the
I thought
NWO would
when we talked about it and Wes was in agreement, and I really thought that they did a good job, that Christian did a really good job at the end of the show being chased down. It had a feeling of realness. He took the backdrop, which is, I mean, for Christian ain't a fucking 12-year-old kid. Like, Christian's got some age on him. He took a pretty solid backdrop on the hood of that. I think it was a Tahoe, some kind of a big SUV, big white SUV.
Right, and we were saying that for AEW.
I wonder if they're doing like we used to do at WCW, where somebody rent a SUV and get the loss damage waiver.
Oh, and then just destroy the fucking thing?
Beat the fuck. I remember there was one time Doug Dillinger was the legendary security guy. He was cantankerous, and but a good fucking guy, man, heart of gold. And we used his Cadillac as Luger's Cadillac, and we wound up fucking Big Show, Paul. We wound him up, and man, it was impressive as fuck. Paul walked up the hood of the car and just put his foot right through that window. I mean, like to the steering wheel, just and we got done with the scene and everything, and Dillinger came out there. That night it started to drizzle, and Dillinger had to drive that fucking car, that Cadillac, back to the Atlanta airport and drop it off with that fucking water coming in that fucking windshield.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, fuck. We weren't his friends for a while.
couldn't have it get towed or something?
I'm sure if fucking Doug probably said somebody fucking threw a rock through when it was parked or something. I don't know.
Until they turned on the TV and saw the.
Well, who's that smart? They don't know who Doug Dillinger is. One of us fucking would have brought it back. Yeah, they'd probably snagged it.
When you guys would do production meetings at WWE, how much of that was because you hear production meeting and you assume it's going to be a very technical discussion of maybe where stuff is going to be shot for the backstage stuff, and how much of it was technical and how much of it was story related? Was the production meeting entirely technical?
I was never. I don't think I've ever been in what they call the actual production meeting.
On the day of the show, no.
I was always. Then they would break from the production meeting because that's where they do the nuts and bolts of what they were going to shoot, and then Vince or whoever would come down. If it was Paul, Stephanie would come down, and we would go. That was the first time in my life when I came back with the NWO angle, where I was like, we never rehearsed anything with at WCW. It was just there were so many times at WCW where we have a main event, a 6-man main event, and we'd go to the fucking ring. Like somebody's music would start and they'd have to leave, and we'd basically call it out there. Mm-hmm.
So you never had to go to the meetings where like camera stuff was this, like take for example when you had the thing out in the lot with Ray and you threw him into the trailer and everything like that. Doesn't that all have to be worked out because you need the cameras outside? You need the
We just kind of walked through that because we were there early, and it was that was far enough away from the crowd where it couldn't be seen. But the thing we wanted to make sure was, like, there's nothing worse than like using an aluminum baseball bat, a pipe, and pulling it. So we always, it was always my philosophy is always, you can never do anything in a work that's going to top what somebody's mind is going to assume happened if they come into the shot and you're dropping the bat. Mm-hmm. And the person's bent over and they're holding their head and it's bleeding, or Ray was the only real action in that. Ray came across, I caught him, and lawn darted him. That was the only real action. I think maybe Scott hit maybe Riggs or one other guy, but it was like everybody, like they came running into it like cops, and the carnage was already there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just like, to me, it's Hitchcock. It's Psycho.
You guys decide those things there.
Yeah, because
with Eric.
Yeah, like I remember one time when I was working with the show, and Goldberg was going to get to Sid, and I think it was before Halloween Havoc. I think they worked, and Sid had never gotten color. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And we had to get, the way we were going to get out of it was he was going to get color, and then Bill was going to fucking bust him open, and we were going to stop the match because of the bleeding and give Bill the win basically on like a TKO instead of a pinfall. Mm. And so I said, fuck, I said, I'm trying to think what to do. And I said, well, if we come into it like cops, I said, and Dr. Unger was there, and he had a scalpel. His specialty was diabetes, but he was still, he was an MD, and he cut Sid with a scalpel, and we cut Sid and we laid him down behind a black box, and then Bill just mounted him. So when we came around the corner, you just saw Bill, like you could just see the upper body of Bill, and you could see Bill striking him. And then the camera came around and exposed, and by that time Sid had been laying there long enough where there was a kind of a little bit of a pool of blood there, and then the people broke it up, and then we went into the fight, and then they pretty much did what they could to kind of, and it bled the second they got out there, because Bill knew that if he fucking, hard weight him too much, it would swell and it wouldn't bleed. So it was kind of a dicey thing. It was a stupid call, and I fucked that up. I thought we could do something we couldn't, but back into the left. The left.
Well, Kev, it's time for the tap out, okay? And I want to tell everyone, of course, that if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Bluechew is, for God's sake, Bluechew is the unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra. What are we talking about? We're talking about sex, guys. Come on, remember the days you were always ready to go? Well, you can increase your performance and get that confidence back thanks to Bluechew.com. Okay, take them anytime, day or night. They're chewable tablets, and the process is simple to get them. Sign up at Bluechew.com. You just consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part, this is all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, okay? The tablets are made in the USA, prepared and shipped direct to your door in discreet packaging. They want to help you have better sex. What's wrong with that? Discover your options at Bluechew.com. Chew it and do it. So many of our fans post their testimonials to their partner's chagrin sometimes. But we want to help you experience this. So the deal we have is try Bluechew for free. Okay, you just got to use the promo code NASH at checkout. Pay just the shipping, $5. Bluechew.com, promo code NASH. Receive your first month free. Visit Bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. We thank Bluechew for sponsoring the Tap Out. Kevin, this is someone you're familiar with on this Tap Out. Flexing some of their musical skills. We've, of course, seen Jeff Hardy in the ring for years. One of the...
I heard he was doing some gigs.
He's doing some music now. So figured we should see how this lands in the Tap Out universe. Go ahead.
Held my head high roaming around the way. The present day is what I had for showing. The way they work me down and worlds go round, I'm so misleading. The way I've worked myself is something else, it's so deceiving. When the sun is not shining and my worries are gone, the shallow-minded will question the cause of my thoughts. I got home, forgot alone of what my mind was thinking. I am free inside to see more worlds elevating. The way I've dreamt them up, I am enough, I'm so bliss leading. The way I've loved myself is something else I found believing.
So what's going on here? What is this? This is serious? This is
No, I was listening to the words. No, it's I enjoyed that for the simple fact is I know that he's fuck, man. I mean, I've known Jeff since he was maybe 17 or 18 years old. I mean, I was Scott. He looked like Vanilla Ice. I was Scott's favorite fucking guy to work with when he was an enhancement guy. And Yeah, I've just known him for fucking like seems like my whole life. So it was interesting. It was interesting to you can feel that. I mean, I felt pain. I feel pain. You know, I feel that he's. But at the same time, I think he looks like he's in a good place.
All right, so let's take the strictly artistic aspect of this here. This is something that I would catch you playing in the Mustang?
No, I'm like my niece was I drove them to go jet skiing today, and she's like, "Do you just listen to R&B?" I'm like, "Yeah, like pretty much. That's what I listen to. Like, I don't really listen to a whole lot of rap. It's like I like R&B. You know, just."
Should this be a musical career for Jeff?
For Jeff, I mean, it's hard to tell because I'm sure he's playing that the guitar track. So it doesn't sound like that it was very edited. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. No one cares what I think, but okay.
No, I do. What do you think?
Well, I think it lives just to the left of average. You know, I mean, if that I don't know, that lands on my desk if I'm an executive, that gets a phone call. I don't know. Now, obviously, if it's Jeff, it gets a phone call because there's a market.
Well, I
there.
think that's one of the
business.
things. Yeah, you look at it and you say, you know, fuck, it is who it is. No, if I listened to that and it wasn't Jeff, I don't think I would be but I know Jeff and I know his trials and tribulations, and
well, no one's doubting that.
Yeah, no, I guess we should fucking probably, you know, look at life kind of like that. Like we're so judgmental on so many things, and you know, Jeff's been through a lot of shit, so I'm of course going to be a lot more tolerant of anything he puts out, just because, you know, it's a blessing he's still with us.
Yes. Maybe it's something else, though. Maybe it's painting or something. We'll find him some.
I mean, he can, you know, as long as he's happy. If he's happy with that, he's happy with it and proud of it because he's putting it out there, and he's doing gigs.
You know what I'm happy and proud of? Your record at Florida Man versus Jersey. Okay, it's uncanny.
1968 Denny McClain.
I'm sure that's a basketball reference that I'm supposed to know.
No, it's
before
Detroit
I was watching.
Tigers.
Baseball, even worse.
It was he was a Cy Young Award. He went by Dizzy Dean, had won 30 games, and that year McClain in '68 won 31 games, beat Dean's record, and then went to the World Series against Bob Gibson and the Cardinals, and Mickey Lolich won 3 games.
You
McClain
and
did nothing.
4 people that work at ESPN know that.
As fucking some people that used to go down to there's Michigan people know that. Tiger fans know that because that '68 Tiger team was. That was a beautiful thing.
All right. Well, here are the 2 stories. Florida Man, Jersey guy. One headline, an actual Florida Man headline. My
brother Mark listens to this, and he's popping right now.
So how's his record?
On Florida Man?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to find out if he's doing as well as his brother. A little sibling rivalry here. Okay, first headline. Man shot by mother-in-law after the birth of his son. Woman arrested. Oh, this is the female version today, by the way. So we have two female actors here. Man shot by mother-in-law after birth of his son. Woman arrested after 44 dogs found in her freezer.
Ooh.
So man's.
I'm thinking. I'm watching Tony pushing Maude on the steps.
What's that?
Sopranos. I'm watching. I'm in my mind. I'm watching. You know.
Oh.
like mother-in-law with a handgun, could very easily be Jersey, but then again, I've got to go I'm going to go mother-in-law with a gun because I just don't see somebody in Jersey, number one, having that many frozen dogs is a food source. So
you're going.
I'm going. Jersey's is the shot son, and Florida woman is the dog,
freezer,
the dog food, the dog eater.
This is another notch in the loss column, Kevin. Very few, but we are going to, let's see. The mother-in-law is Sally Conley down in Delray Beach.
You know what they're known for in Delray? Their number one business?
Blowing your son away. What?
Fucking drug rehab.
Oh, she may need to head there. I don't know what was behind her decision to do this. Let's see. Florida woman shot her son-in-law day after his son and her new grandson was born. Delray Beach Police Department officers explained his mother-in-law, the man who was shot was Richard Keating. He explained his mother-in-law Conley was looking after his 3-year-old daughter while his wife was in the hospital giving birth to their son. And then Keating said he told them he arranged with Conley to take over caring for the daughter on Sunday. According to the report, when Keating arrived home to get his daughter, Conley was waiting outside his front door and asked him, "Did you see the rainbow?" And after that, she shot him. He tackled.
So in other words, she's just a crazy bitch.
Yeah, it seems like it.
She could have been anywhere.
He tackled her into a bush and ran to a neighbor's house looking for help.
Should have put a Mudshark in her.
I was going to say, speaking of bush, maybe a Mudshark was involved. And then the 44 dogs was in, that would be, New Jersey State Police said they've arrested 65-year-old Donna Roberts for keeping more than 100 dogs in deplorable conditions. 44 apparently were in the freezer. Burlington County. And the smell of animal feces and ammonia caused several of the responders to experience dizziness. Good God. Good God. Do they have that week? Because I know it's Jeep week or it's motorcycle week. Is there like dead dog in the freezer week in down by you there?
Well, that was Jersey. So.
Yeah, but I'm sure this sounds like a very.
No,
we
do have mother-in-law fucking shoot you in the face for no reason though. That's like, I guess I better watch out the way I treated my mother-in-law in the fucking wheelchair.
I was gonna say from the wheelchair maybe as you're running her through the airport.
Take one in the pallet.
I will just count in Get Blitzed for the 2-hour and 15-minute marathon show that's airing on a holiday. All right.
We got on a roll early.
We did. We just started. It was just one of those days.
The thing is, on top of that, I'm actually coherent and we're having conversation. So we've debunked everything that was thrown at us.
This is the perfect episode to read that question.
Yep.
Comment.
Even my brother said, "Are we on right now? Are we?"
Well, we're not. I mean, we could do anything.
Yeah, just leave it on. So my brother, I talked to him. It was his birthday, the 20th. So I wished him happy birthday on the 20th. But anyway, we talked at length on the 21st. I was driving to go to the gym, and he'd listened to the show, and he said, I said, "How was it?" He goes, "Oh, it was good." He goes, I said, "Was I fucked up?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I don't think so." He said, "I can tell when you're off, though." Like, he can tell when I'm fucked up.
That's really funny.
But the thing is like we're about to do the Blitzed, and like, I guess, I mean, I don't feel like but I guess I am off when I'm blitzed, But I guess I've done that several times on the show, but I don't.
There was only one. I gotta say, there was only one episode. It was Tristan was still with us, And there was 1 week you were off.
Well, he and I both ate those. We ate capsules. We ate some sativa capsules. No, they were hybrid, so they were sativa and indica. And I mean, I was taking 10 milligrams, and I think for some reason I thought I could bump it, and I went to like 30 because he was doing 30. Mm-hmm. But his tolerance.
30 milligrams. That's a fucking.
Yeah, it fucking.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as I turned to Joey Diaz.
Jesus. All right, let's get this going. Oh. All right, the high spot of the show is always brought to us by our friends Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney at their Get Blitzed Lit Aid headquarters, somewhere near Baltimore, I think. What am I talking about? I'm talking about nano-infused Delta-9 THC sip and syrup. They've been with us. They've been a dedicated supporter. And you know what, Kev, every week there's somebody new in the comments that talks about having tried this for the first time. And it's always rave reviews. There are a couple in this week's, actually a full review by somebody who says they've been smoking their whole life. And they go a little harder than a teaspoon, they wanted to let us know also. So, okay. What is Delta-9 THC sip and syrup? It's super potent. It's like, think about it as THC on steroids. It's a syrup. You mix it in any beverage like a tea, white soda, or Kev's rocking it with the Prime lately, and with as little as a teaspoon. Fast onset, 5 to 15 minutes, so proceed with caution. But this is a sipping thing, man. You sit back, put on the game, and a nano-infused, by the way, means it goes right to the bloodstream, bypasses the breakdown in the liver. Kev, I signed a contract today, so we'll have something to announce very soon, hopefully.
All right.
In regards to a special line of Get Blitzed for folks out there. I'll just tease that a little bit. What are we talking about? Talking about THC, Delta-9, the THC you get from marijuana. If you're in Maryland, you can go visit a Stay Lit smoke shop for the full selection. But for the rest of us, it's legal to ship right from the Get Blitzed website to all 50 states without a med card as long as you're over 21. And right now you can save 15% by entering the code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q, at checkout. Go to get-blitzed, get-blitzed.com. And try that Delta-9 THC sip and syrup. Don't forget to enter the promo code KLIQ. You're going to save 15%. All right? And enjoy Get Blitzed. Let Mickey Ray know that you love it.
Absolutely.
Oh, Ask Nash is how we do this. Hashtag Ask Nash. I know there's that other guy doing the hashtag Ask Nash, but we will extract yours.
Now that the sun has dropped, I'm underneath my regular lighting, and I'm slowly turning into to Hulk in '96 tan wise.
It's either Hulk in '96 or like John Amos, man. The opening credits of Good Times is happening, and a touch. By the way, with the great Bill Russell, maybe a little bit. Totally Tubular says,
Long
"Hey, Big
distance.
Kev, you gonna watch some Celtics tonight, Kev?"
It's Timberwolves tonight.
Hey, Big Kev, being a downriver guy growing up, any memories of visiting Gibraltar Trade Center?
God, yes. I'm so old that was Joshua Door. It was a huge furniture place. The jingle used to be, "You got an uncle in the furniture business, Joshua Door, Joshua Door." They found Joshua Door in the trunk of a 71-2 LTD, a couple bullet holes in the head.
I'm guessing who financed his company. It probably was not
probably the
Red
boys.
Lobster.
Yeah,
probably wasn't the guys that Red Lobster.
I used to do. The Gibraltar Trade Center was great for doing signings, and I would do 2 a year. I would do one in Mount Clemens and then one in Taylor, that was by the Southland Mall downriver. So, yeah, I've got Mark and the boys were always good to us, and I miss. It always gave me a chance to go home twice a year, and see family.
Very good, Stephen Breach. Do you have any stories of signing cards for Panini or Topps? Is it easy money, or does your hand cramp up from signing so many in one sitting?
So we just had, I did a signing for Panini, I don't know, couple months ago, and they told me how much I was going to get, and I said, yeah, okay. And my whole thing is, you tell me how much it is, and I immediately print the email, and then I sign. And what I do is I sit down. If there's 1,000 cards, if there's 600 cards, there's 4, whatever it is, I put my stopwatch on my phone, and I start to sign, because I know how much I'm getting paid, and I want to see what I'm getting paid an hour.
Kevin, so the level to which this goes on is unbelievable. Everyone always would say to me, "Oh, I know how Kev is with the business, man." But no, you don't. Nobody knows how you are with the fucking stopwatch. All right, go ahead. Finish your story.
So, long story short, the guy says, "Is this a suicide?" I said, "No, it's Christmas." No. Long story short.
Wait, let me interrupt you real quick.
You okay?
Fine.
Okay. So, they send me like $3,000 fucking shy of what I'm supposed to get. So I got a call from Talent Relations and Panini, and they like stiffed Waltman. Like Panini stiffed Waltman. They just stiffed him. And so they called me up and they said, "Hey, we've got Panini wants to do," and I said, they fucked me. I said they were several $1,000s short on their last payment. I said I don't plan on doing business with them moving forward. And she was just very nice. She said, I sent her, I think it was a text. I sent her a text, and she said, I said, "Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend." And then she responded. And she said, "Okay." She said, you have a nice weekend too." Like, so I don't think I'm the only person that has had a problem with Panini.
Didn't seem shocked when you reported
that,
I guess.
And it's one of those things. It was an easy gig. You could do. I could do it at my house. I didn't have to talk to anybody. I could be really, really stoned and incoherent and brain dead. It didn't have to be articulate.
Not contributing to conversation.
Not whatsoever. I didn't have to play table tennis with anybody and knock it back and keep the game going. So, but no, I just was one of those things where I feel bad because I know that people would want to collect that card, but
business is business.
Business is business.
Cav Manning, being a pot guy, I assume you were doing it back in WWF before you went to WCW. How did you get around the wellness testing? Were you given a heads up when they were testing? Did they not care if a person of status compared to a so-so guy? How strict was the test?
No, you did not smoke weed. You didn't do steroids. You didn't smoke weed. We all went on a Christmas break. It was 95. Yeah, I think it was 94 or 95 Christmas break. And we came back to TV and they fucking pissed us. And once again, to ruffle Taker takes a lot. And it was one of those deals, man, where I think everybody went home and got stoned. And like we just said, if you're going to piss us, we're not doing TV. So that was the only time that we put up a front that like we're playing by the rules, but this is fucked up.
Right.
Like we had like 4 days off for Christmas or 3 days, whatever it was, and fuck, we can't go home and fucking smoke with our homeboys. Like, fuck, man, you gotta be kidding me.
There was one guy that could be gotten to, right? Was it WWE or WCW?
Every once in a while, you could get a guy that. I remember there was one.
One guy made a fortune one night from Sean's book. I remember.
I want to think we were in fucking like South Florida, like the University of South Florida or something like that. I remember another time. God, who? I don't know who scored that. I think Sean. I don't know if it was no, I don't think Pac was with us. Somebody scored hash, and it was me, Scott, and HBK, and we were going to Royal Albert Hall, and we were gonna smoke up in the room, and I said, man, if they're gonna piss us, they're gonna piss us in a country that they speak English. I said, let's hold off. So lo and behold, man, we're the first three guys off the bus. We run into the Royal Albert Hall, and we see the fucking guys in the white coats. We can't piss fast enough. Mm-hmm. So we all three piss, and then we go and we find the prop room at Royal Albert Hall. There's all these paper mache heads and everything. We go down there, we make a fucking can, we smoke up. And I'm kind of I'm working like singles, like I'm starting to get a push. I'm not just Shawn Michaels' bodyguard because they're taking me to Europe, so I'm working double duty. So I'll come out and work third or second, and then I'll come out and work semi-main event in the IC belt with Scott and HBK's match. So we get fucking baked. And we go out there, and I'm so stoned. Like, I'm like, fuck this, man. Like, I was just having a good time, and I just started doing Shakespeare. Like, and so Sean and Scott are watching through the curtain, and I came back through, and they're like, dude, you might have to smoke every night because that's the best you've ever worked. You took your time. He said, man, you worked the people. He said, and it was like one of those, they say in the business, you'll always hear from the old timers, that a light bulb goes off. And there's certain times in your career where a light bulb goes off, and when it goes off, you never forget. And it was just like, fucking slow down. And this is like, you're so blessed to do this. Enjoy it. Like I would work myself into such a fucking shoot every night. I'd have a great workout, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go out there and expose myself that I can't work worth a fuck. And I'm like, dude, the only person that, like, you're doing this to yourself. Like, enjoy yourself, because if I'm having fun, they're going to have fun. And that's what I learned. And that's, people all can say whatever they want to about me having 5 fucking moves. And I always say the same thing. Nolan Ryan had a fastball. Everybody knows who the fuck Nolan Ryan is. Could I do flips? No. But nobody else could do fucking 6'10". So.
Very good. Some questions from the house. Our friends here in the 11 Soft Club EP. If you had the ability to pick a song for your new entrance theme in 1994 after you won the title, what would it have been?
Well, originally it was supposed to be George Thorogood, Bad to the Bone, and they asked too much, and they wouldn't pay it. It was like $150,000. They wouldn't pay. It's not that they wouldn't pay it. The company didn't have the money for that kind of a frivolous. Right. They could barely pay the fucking talent. So Mr.
Was that your choice?
No, that's what they wanted.
Oh.
I think Shane picked it. So,
something funk theme from Superfly.
I don't even know because it wasn't. It's. I can't. Off the top of my head, I just can't put that together because it wasn't.
Well, fans let us know. What do you think Kevin would have looked good coming into. Maybe edit some videos, take one of his entrances and put some songs on it. We can vote on it next week on the 100th episode.
We can do that.
A week from today. Let's see what Kev's, maybe Steve, maybe we could do that on our end. Take an entrance that we won't get cited for, and let's put some different tracks on it. Definitely Taste the Biscuit.
I think fucking that
the Jeff Hardy song.
That Jeff Hardy song, that would have been good to come out to,
So
kind of just the pace.
Who else is here tonight? Let's see. Hey, Britt. Hey, Uncle Kev, do you have any stories about Miss Elizabeth? Just watched the Macho Man documentary. I feel like she's often forgotten about. Long overdue for a spot in the Hall of Fame. Very, very good point. She was such a part of all of his angles. I mean,
she's not in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, I mean, according to Britain, I'm going with her word.
Wow. I mean, she was with Lex.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she ended up being like Lex's girlfriend when we were running that Wolfpack thing, and so she traveled with us a lot. She was a sweetheart. I mean, she was just a great fucking, like, one of the nicest people I've ever met in this business.
Yeah. Another
another fucking tragedy,
demise,
you know, that
totally,
just got, you know, we all fucking got involved with those somas, man. It's just, and a lot of people fucking, you know, my wife gave me the ultimatum, like, you fucking either get off this shit or get out of the fucking house.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a big fucking vat of them, and I just dumped them in the toilet, and I said, fuck that. And I said, I'm not. So I've been fortunate, man, my whole life. I've never been an addict on anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just like when I decided to stop drinking, I stopped, and it's just like I don't have cold turkey. I don't have fucking, you know. You just don't put yourself in a situation where not gonna go hang out at a fucking bar and not be drinking.
Well, I think that there's a lot of science behind. Like there's a gene, right? There's an addiction gene that follows whether it's substance or food. Who else in the house? Let's see. Some more of our friends. Hey, Jen. Not a question, but I saw somewhere that Nancy Benoit would have been 60 years old this year. Wow. Wonder if she could be in the WWE Hall of Fame without a mention of Chris. Be nice. They should. I would be down for that.
Yeah.
It's
so hard to even go around that and not tear that scab off.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, right? She's kind of branded with that horrible event. I wrote about her a bit in Todd is God because of her time in ECW, both with Kevin and then without. When he went to WCW from there, he left her there for some reason. And did bring her over till later, and in that madhouse that was ECW, Todd said she was like a mother and a sister all in one. Lived very cleanly, didn't fuck around with the boys or anything. Like they did their shit. She said goodnight. She went to her room. That was it.
She was on because when Kevin was my manager,
right,
for Oz, I traveled and Nancy traveled with us and. We'd go back to the Holiday Inn and sit around that little round table at the Holiday Inn and smoke our weed and drink our beer. And I'd go to my room and they'd chill and get up the next morning. Kevin always fucking hit the gym.
Yeah.
So me and Kevin would train and Nancy would come with. It was, I really had some good times, and I would Kevin and I were working sometimes. We would work tags on the road, and because the Oz thing didn't work, so we were together anyway, and they would just book us, and I watched Kevin fucking get over at everyone at its expense. And I'm thinking, like, if that motherfucker can no-sell everybody at his size, like, fucking, like, get on the fucking, and he'd tell me, brother, if you don't have heat with the baby face, how you gonna have heat with the fucking fans? Like, like, okay. You whack the fuck out of people, stomp them.
Kev's the best.
Yeah,
Any update on him? Did you hear anything?
We just went back and forth. He said, I'm fine, thank you so much. And then, I head off to Alabama, so I didn't get a chance to.
Okay, I should reach out. I'll reach out tonight. I feel badly I haven't. Who else? Come on, let's wrap it up with our friends here in the house, for God's sakes. Kevin Gilbald, rewatching Austin's beatdown on Scott Hall in 2002. What were your feelings on it after rewatching it? I got mad. It just made Scott look bad to me.
Was it the one in the back of the pickup truck? Or are you talking about the match at WrestleMania?
I don't know. 2002 would have been WrestleMania. Would that have been?
I didn't like the pickup truck deal where Scott was flat backing in the back of that pickup truck.
Maybe that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
They didn't do Scott any favors, that whole fucking, So.
All right, one more. Let's wrap it up with one more. Been on the air 6 hours. The pickup.
Truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking brutal. I tried to post today, and I did, and it fucked up my Instagram. But there's a artist. His name's Brian. I can't remember. But he fucked up because he wouldn't wouldn't allow me to post it. But there's a mural of Scott as Razor Ramon down in Miami, and it's large. I mean, it's on the side of a building. So anybody that is a fan of Scott Hall or Razor Ramon, and yeah, there's the picture there on the side of a building.
The artist wouldn't let you share it?
Well, I don't know, man. I tried to fucking put it on my Instagram, and I tagged him and tagged his fucking Instagram thing, and
yeah.
So as we used to say, good for you and fuck you.
That was very cornet of you. Well, let me remind you.
That's Scott.
Is that?
Yeah.
No, right. Corny's was thank you, fuck you, bye. Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, Sean Oliver, producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2024, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, do you want to do episode 100? How great would it fucking be if you said no and we never went on the air?
Well, I have to say this before we go off.
Yes.
I'm so fucking technically unsavvy. It's unbelievable. So we walked in the house from picking up Mackenzie, which is was T's Bud, his cousin, and on my phone, inside it, I posted a picture of my father on Instagram. It's a black and white, and then somebody sent me a picture. Maybe it was on Twitter, or I think it was on X, Twitter X, whatever. And it was that he had fixed it up where it was color, and still kind of, because the picture was kind of fucked up, it didn't do him justice on his chin, but it was a color picture. And he said, "Hey, I hope you don't mind. I fixed this picture of your brother up." And I said back on X, I said, "No, that's not my brother. That's my father." But I said, "Thank you." Yeah, there it is.
Ah.
So, handsome fucking man. Big Bob.
Big Bob.
So,
yeah, amazing what they could do with the photographs
that's
and
my
everything.
pops. Wonder where I got that nose at.
Do you can you still hear him at all? Like,
yeah,
you know his voice.
Yeah.
If you heard his voice, you'd know it.
Especially because I used to lay on the floor, and we had hardwood floors, and he'd lay on the floor with a pillow behind his head, and I'd lay on his chest, and I used to put my head against his chest, and I'd listen to his heartbeat, and because he had a real deep voice, and it would sound so fucking deep when I would put my head on his chest. So, did I tell you about the whole thing with Tristan on this trip? So anyway, when we got home, the television was on, and that picture of my dad showed up on the TV screen. The color one.
How?
I don't know. And so my niece said, somehow your phone is transmitting your gallery to that television.
You're sharing your pictures with
the phone, with the
TV,
television.
Yeah.
And but I'm not fucking. I don't know how to do that. And I got my fucking phone in my fucking pocket. So it's just like, okay, thanks, T. Obviously, fucking like, okay. Obviously, you're hanging out.
T, if you accidentally take a picture of your hog or to send to the doctor, you ask him not to bring that up on the TV while company's there, maybe.
No, he would never do that. But anyway, so we were there, and my sister-in-law's man, who is the father of my nephew who's throwing the baseball on Instagram, Carter, we really haven't spent that much time together. His name's Jared. We haven't spent that much time together because they used to go to the islands and do a lot of things. And Tamara and T would go up to either Chattanooga, where they lived before they moved to Huntsville, and they'd spend time together. So he was, when we left the other day from their house and we were pulling out in the sweet-ass Chrysler Pacifica, he turned to Kelly and said, "Wow, I never realized how much Kevin was like Tristan." And then Kelly said, "No. Tristan was like Kevin." And when I heard that, I got choked up because it's like the cat's in the cradle, you know.
Yeah,
my son
sure.
was just like me. So, fuck yeah, we're doing 100 because it's for T.
Let us free to fade away into eternity. Circulate, you've come to love me, but now I'm frozen in dead flesh. Oh, Sophie, knew all along it was a trick, but the customer service never answers the thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. Through twists and turns, you've come to love me. Now I'm cold, I'm frozen. Baby, we're broken, and the customer service never answers a thing. Yeah, the customer service never answers a thing.